Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emily Sophia, and welcome to my X-Men Days of Future Past pre-review. So I typically don't do reviews of TV episodes that I watch, like beforehand, or pre-reviews of movies. This is not my typical course of action. I usually prefer to, let the material digest once I see it and then present to you my analysis, reactions, and thoughts. But my personal hype for this film has been off the charts, and I have just been a quiver with ecstasy over this movie's approach. And I know that sounds maybe slightly absurd, but I want you guys to understand just how excited for this movie I am. I'm currently filming this review on May 22nd. It is a Thursday, and I'm going to see the film at 10 p.m. tonight. And so I wanted to just sort of get some of my pre-show jitters out there for you guys and sort of express my excitement and share that with those of you who are also amped up for this movie. And I am going to be filming, of course, a typical review afterwards as well, but I have to say, and not a lot of people who are currently Marvel fans might feel the same way. Again, this is all my perspective, and I just kind of wanted to get this out there to you guys, and I think this is actually the first video that I've worn my glasses in before, but I've had 4 eyes since the 4th grade. It's just that they're usually inside my eyes, but not today because I didn't feel like dealing with it. So anyways, I first fell in love with the X-Men in middle school. That was when the insanity began for me, and to be entirely honest with you, although I was familiar as a young child with your classic, DC heroes and other figures like Spider-Man and such, it was the X-Men that really birthed my love of comics and comic lore, and as a whole, the Marvel Universe. So while I was absolutely in love with the Avengers film that came out back in 2012, and the hype for that was absolutely electric, and that was such a fun movie, all of a sudden there was a lot of bandwagoning that started happening from there. And I'm not gonna go all hipster status on you guys. I could, but I don't feel that that's really warranted or what you came to this review for. I just have to say that the X-Men have always been nearer and dearer to my heart than even the Avengers have been, unfortunately. And while technically some of the X-Men should be Avengers, but because we have Fox over here with the X-Men, and then we have Marvel and Disney over here with everybody else, the family unit is unfortunately segregated, and I don't see that changing anytime soon, especially as Bryan Singer, the director of Days of Future Past, has announced that the next X-Men film, Apocalypse, is slated for 2016. So I think that they're going to keep building onto the X-Men universe while Marvel is going to be building onto the Avengers universe. And in fact, there's going to be a little bit of crossover between the second Avengers movie and Days of Future Past, since in Days of Future Past we're going to have a Quicksilver, and then there will be another Quicksilver in the new Avengers Age of Ultron movie, along with Scarlet Witch as well. So gosh dang it, I would love to have both of them in Days of Future Past, but it's already a really loaded cast in a good way, by the way. I think that that is what is going to make this movie such an outrageous success, is the fact that we have the stellar old school cast of Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Hugh Jackman, just everybody who we know and love, and then the new faces from the X-Men reboot, starting with First Class, where we have James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and again, just these star-studded teams colliding for what is going to be a truly exciting and I think really organic story. I believe it's going to both hit close to home and give us some good laughs and adventure, and the whole aspect of the Sentinels. Let me just tell ya, I have been waiting for an X-Men movie to feature the Sentinels because I first fell in love with the X-Men in earnest playing the X-Men Legends games on GameCube. I tell you what, that is when it started for me. Because in that game, it's kind of action RPG style, and it's very much multiplayer friendly, and so My brother got me and my sister into it along with him. My first X-Men love, of course, it was Wolverine and Jean Grey, because the whole telekinesis, telepathy thing, like, you can just throw people, just scatter them. I love the long-range attacks, just kind of like, you know, being sort of in the backdrop and tossing people around and giving them psychic headaches. It's kind of what I like to do. And so that's what made me fall in love with the X-Men in the first place, is getting acquainted with all of these different personalities and powers that everybody in the X-Men possesses, and then, you know, with the brotherhood of evil on one side, X-Men on the other, and all the other figures who kind of cross over, you know. It's just a great universe, and I think highly underrated when you're pitting this franchise against the Avengers, and there's a lot of hype for the Avengers, but seriously, the X-Men have just had my heart and soul since I was but a wee babe in my awkward stage of transitioning from private school to public school in like the 6th grade. I drew X-Men art and comics and fan fiction before I even knew what fan fiction was. It's just, I love the franchise. I mean, I don't have rose-colored glasses when it comes to certain films, like The Last Stand was just absolutely throw up awful in just what they did and how they sabotaged everyone. They basically conflated two totally different storylines from the X-Men universe to create this catastrophic massacre of everyone you know and love, and it was just bad. I mean, it was the Dark Phoenix and the Cure plotline from Joss Whedon's astonishing X-Men series, which I'm currently collecting. And then, like, Wolverine Origins, there was some serious misses as far as, like, portrayals of Deadpool and Gambit, and, you know. So it hasn't been, the franchise itself has had some low points, but we are on the freaking upswing with this film, and I wholeheartedly believe that this film, Days of Future Past, is going to be the best X-Men film yet, and it is gonna set a high bar for Apocalypse. But I'm wondering if that's gonna be, you know, I played the X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse game, and there's the Age of Apocalypse comic series, so I love that they're trying to return more to the comic stories, and hopefully they're gonna be conflating less of the stories, because just, you know, take one and stick with it and do something awesome, you know? Anyway, so I'm really excited for this movie because of the collision of the old and new cast, and I've been, you know, watching as many interviews as I can, you know, with especially the ones with like Hugh Jackman, Michael Fassbender, and James McAvoy, and then Patrick and Ian are just babes beyond belief. And their bromance just pervades everything, and I think that it must be a pleasure to work with them. I mean, I love watching a movie where I know that there is solidarity and friendship among the members of the cast, and that's a vibe that I really pick up on as I watched interviews and things like that. I think it's going to be a really fascinating journey as we look at all these crazy decisions that the past characters must make, informed by the future characters who are trying to reverse the course of this crazy global war. And then, of course, Peter Dinklage as Boulevard Trask is just, that's the best. Tyrion Lannister is fully going to the dark side, okay? But again, this is just me kind of pumping my zeal towards you, and I hope that you share it as well. Yeah, so I imagine that some of you watching this might have even seen some of the pre-screenings or what have you, but this movie has already got, it is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got a 9 out of 10 on IMDb, which in the IMDb world, like an 8 out of 10 is an A, so this is like, we're passing in flying colors, okay? We are on the honor roll with this movie, and all of the reviews that I've seen, just mostly headlines that I've glimpsed at, because, and I've been trying to avoid the X-Men Movies YouTube channel was posting a ton of like power pieces and sneak peeks of scenes from the movie, and I just stopped watching those because it's like, I could watch like one trailer and be happy and have enough hype to sustain me until opening night, you know? So I kind of stayed away from that, but all the headlines and little pieces here and there, things that people have tweeted me, have just been, yeah, this movie is worth it. And I think it's gonna be truly timeless. And I don't just mean that as a pun in reference to the storyline that we're dealing with, but incredible cast, incredible story. It's great to have Bryan Singer back on board, and it looks like he will be for the next movie. I hear that they're even developing the next Wolverine movie, although I certainly wouldn't mind getting some other films focused on individual characters, like, say, Doctor Strange. I think that would be super fun. Deadpool, of course, would be quite a piece to bite off, but if done right, that would be an absolutely hysterical cinematic masterpiece. Anyways, I'm just really excited that they're expanding the X-Men universe and that I can share my fangirlisms with all of you guys. And finally, express how intimately in love I have been with the X-Men and the comics and everything for all these years. It's huge nostalgic value to me, but you know, the two latest X-Men films, the Wolverine was good, First Class was even better, but the two of those I think set us up for a really, really awesome journey that I hope won't be too heavily dominated by Wolverine. Because, I mean, the guy gets all the movie fame and glory, because he's our favorite anti-hero. So I hope that it's gonna be a good balance between the cast, good humor. I don't expect that it's gonna miss. So that's just what I wanna say. I love X-Men. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll have my full review up likely within the next 24 hours. It's gonna be a blast. Okay, so thanks for sharing the excitement with me. Leave your thoughts and hopes and dreams, and you know, what was your favorite X-Men comic series as well? Because I'm trying to build my personal collection, and I wouldn't consider myself the most informed connoisseur. I'm kind of self-taught as far as the series that I've gotten into, or you know, I take little recommendations from people who I respect, and you guys are pretty cool. So let's talk. See you guys after the movies. If, in fact, my head does not explode, at this point, there's no guarantees. I'm bringing my life support and my Depends tonight, and it will be epic. So, you guys take care, and as always, I will be back before you know it. Mwah. Take care.